Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parents. In today's episode, update: no mom, dad, younger brother, and aunt'll keep on doing my little tradition. Entitled family harasses me after my BF knocks BIL on the ground. Entitled parents don't change kids' diaper on cross-country flight. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Update: no mom, dad, younger brother, and aunt'll keep on doing my little tradition. Wow, I just wanted to say thanks for the support and the amount of love received, and I didn't think this would blow up. I tried to answer all your comments and messages, but there were so many, but overall, I am thankful. But I like to clarify some things. The stuff that my brother left me is in my possession and they are safe away from their hands. To the commenter who told me to scan the photos, I did just that and they are safe on Google Photos, and I decided to decorate an empty wall on my apartment with string lights that included clips to put photos and use the ones I scanned since I wanted to keep the album in one piece. Another commenter told me about the quilt with the shirts my brother left me. You'll be happy to know that I got in contact with a friend who offered and is showing me constant videos of how it's looking, and I am excited to have it with me. My parents' religion is Pentecostal. Golden boy, my younger brother, is not into religion. He is just a doormat and is verbally abusive towards me, and thought that this would be fun to watch. To those who commented that I should have yelled at Burns, I had that in mind, but since I wanted to go nuclear on my aunt, I decided to leave. I keep in contact with my older brother's wife, and she invited me to her wedding, has 2 children, and she says that her kids have a wonderful aunt that they love. Now to the update. After the incident, my parents, aunt and younger brother have all been blocked, and I installed cameras in my apartment just in case. My uncle, 80M, and is a pastor of his own church, but he is open-minded, called me to meet up and said he wanted to talk to me about something. So, we met up in a cafe and he told me that my dad told him a twisted version of what happened, and he didn't believe it and wanted my version. So, I told him everything and he was mad when I was done telling him. He said to me that what I was doing wasn't harmful and that is a beautiful tradition and that I should keep doing it since it's showing love, care and honoring someone that isn't among us. I was in tears, and he told me that God is love and accepts us just the way we are, and that we shouldn't change because of someone else's beliefs. After comforting me, he called my father and berated him for all the hell he put me through and said that he is in a cult and told him that he is deeply disappointed in him. He kept on going and kept giving him an earful. I was in shock, but kept silent to hear. He hanged up on my dad and kept telling him that we should keep in contact, and to always remember his words. I went home to tell my 28M, and he said to me that my uncle was right. A few days later, I received an email from one of my friends with a news link where the church that my parents are assisting is being investigated due to someone complaining about inappropriate behavior with children and young couples. I guess that's karma for you. You have a nice tradition going, and if it helps you, keep it up. Every year for my mom's birthday, I still make her a birthday cake and sing happy birthday. She's been gone for 20 years now, and if anyone told me I had to stop, I'd tell them to F right off. That's lovely. Mine's been gone 9 years next month, and I am still not in a place to be able to do things like that. While I usually have disdain for religious authority figures, your uncle is amazing and he is absolutely right. Like many things, you rarely notice or hear about the good ones because they don't draw attention to themselves. Uncle is the kind of Christian that most think they are, but they're not. Bless you for your tradition of rememberable. Entitled family harasses me after my BF knocks BIL on the ground. So this story happened a week ago. My sister was in town to visit with her husband and 11-year-old son. My BF isn't a huge fan of my sister's husband. By BIL is as my BF would describe tactical. Basically, he's really into military stuff even though he never was in the military. While my BF was a US Marine for 5 years. When they met, my BIL tried to act all buddy-buddy and even said these people don't understand warriors like us. My boyfriend finds it annoying both that my BIL is trying to claim warrior status while being a banker and my BF is not fond of the military after all it did to him, so he gets ticked off when people idolize it. But the problem started when they came over. It was a generally nice night other than a passive-aggressive remark by the BIL when he learned I was not cooking, but in fact my BF is. I'm a terrible cook and he's amazing at it, so he generally cooks. After dinner we were all getting caught up in the living room and their son Jack was getting bored and started walking around. My BF got up after him to watch over him as an excuse to get out of the conversation. This is what my BF said happened. He followed Jack around the house until Jack said he was bored. Trying to be a good uncle, my BF offered to show him his office and they went inside. My BF is protective of his office, only him and I are allowed inside, so this was a big deal, but my BF wanted to be a good host and uncle. So he showed Jack around the office, showed him his Warhammer armies, the knives he forges, his gaming PC, and everything else. BF has too many hobbies, until they got to a locked cabinet. Jack asked why it was locked. My BF explained his guns were in there and if his parents allowed it he would take Jack shooting one day. A little while later my BIL followed them into the office. My BF was annoyed he was in there but felt he couldn't kick him out as his son was in there and he had the right to be there. BIL started talking to him about my BF's guns and wanted to see them. My BF was hesitant but felt there was no harm because BIL is a grown-ass man, also he keeps the ammo in the garage across the house. He opened the cabinet and asked my BIL not to touch them unless he hands them to him. My BIL promptly ignores this, grabs a gun from a rack, does not check if it's clear. My BF emphasizes that it was a huge no-no, and starts waving it around. My BIL then thought it would be funny to pretend to shoot his son, so he pointed the gun at Jack. My BF reached for the gun, knocked BIL to the ground and secured the gun. Then all hell broke loose. BIL started screaming at my BF and my sister ran to check what was going on. Then my sister started screaming about how my BF could let her son near a gun. My BF isn't a yeller. He's not afraid of confrontation, but he never yells. He just calmly put his gun away, locked the cabinet, looked at me with a "these people are idiots" look, and waited for a lull in the screaming. He told them get out. BIL got in his face and acted like they were gonna fight. My BF just started him down until BIL backed off. BF 6 feet 3 inches, muscular and carries himself like a former Marine. He basically just stared my sister and BIL out of the house, never raised his voice, never said anything threatening. But after that the story my family was told is that he's a sociopath with an arsenal, has PTSD, and all of them are blowing up my phone trying to get me to leave him. Apparently they even called the cops, but we live in his hometown. The local sheriff taught my BF how to hunt as a kid, so the sheriff knew it was a BS report but still reached out to me to confirm. I assured him and my family countless times that he is not dangerous or hurting me. It's starting to get to me and I don't know what to do. My BF is concerned for my mental health, but he told me he couldn't care less what they were saying about him. I'm probably gonna go low contact until this blows over. I'm just glad we live a couple states away so they can't harass me in person. BIL is 100% in the wrong. There is absolutely no excuse for his behavior with the gun. BF sounds like a good man. Don't let him get away. This right here, your BF was a perfect host and shut the shit down when BIL did something you're never supposed to do, even as a joke. Your BF let them into his office, his sanctuary so to speak, and BIL disrespected out of it. Your BF sounds like a perfectly sane and responsible person and I agree that you shouldn't let him get away. To add to that, your BIL sounds like a dumbass and very low to no contact should be the way to go. Tell your family, BIL pointed a gun he grabbed at his son and the AH is never welcomed back in your home. This is the only thing that needs to be said. This idiot BIL pointed a deadly weapon at his young child. I would never want to be near the idiot and certainly would not want him near my children. Contact your family with this message. BIL was told not to touch said guns. He was only to look, and BF would lock the guns up safely. BIL ignored this, grabbed a gun, failed to see if it was loaded, or any safety precautions and pointed it at his son. If you are willing to believe this person, I no longer wish to associate with you, and I'm ashamed to say we are related. I hope you learn from this, but I won't be around to see it. Let your family know the truth. BIL is a total idiot and pointed a gun at his own son, which makes him an ass. If they think your BF is unhinged, BIL is a raving lunatic and could have really hurt someone. You need to get the truth out there and repoint your family at the true crazy of this story. Who points a gun at a child? His own child. Your BF did the right thing. Your Bill is idiot who will get someone killed and then be like, I didn't know that would happen. Your poor nephew. My husband watched a father send his child down to put up a target and proceeded to shoot while his child was still there. Blew his entire knee apart. Idiots abound. Explain to your family that BAL endangered his child by pointing a gun, which he had not confirmed was unloaded, at nephew. Tell your family that because of this, BIL is never allowed in your home again, nor do you or BF want to have anything to do with him. Entitled parents don't change kids' diaper on cross-country flight. The parents sitting in front of us had a toddler whose diaper started to smell about halfway through the 5.5-hour flight. They didn't change it. So for hours we were forced to smell this kid's diaper. What's so frustrating is that isn't good for the kid either. I know that changing tables on planes aren't great, but we shouldn't all have to smell your kid's diaper for hours. I was on a band trip with my son's school and another mom brought her 6-year-old. On the bus to the airport, the kid pooped his pants, and even though she had access to clean clothes, she boarded the plane with stinky pants kid in tow. The entire plane could smell it. I was never so glad to get off a plane. That poor kid must have been mortified. Even if the changing tables aren't great, disposable table mats are a thing today. So no excuses for the lousy parents. Disposable mats were a thing when I had my oldest 13 years ago, definitely no excuse. That poor kid. Sitting in that mess is so bad for their skin. Poor little bugger probably got a wicked rash from that. That's when you ask the parents if they always abuse their children or just do it in public. I can only imagine what they're like when people can't see them. The woman behind us 2 weeks ago had a cat in a carrier on our plane. But the cat shat in its carrier just before takeoff and it stank so bad, the FA came and got her and we didn't see her or the cat again until we'd landed. I'm sure the cat had the frightened shits, as it was especially bad. We surmised it was uncleanable in the carrier and they were banished away from the populace? I don't know if they put a woman and her shit-covered cat in a bathroom or what. I'm grateful the FA smelled the problem and managed it for everyone in the vicinity. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.